Good morning, everyone. Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. We're picking up where we left off in the last video, up here at a mountain lake, central Colorado, at 12,000 feet, and it got pretty damn cold last night. Luckily, we already got the fire going this morning to try to warm up our hands before we cook breakfast and pack up camp. It's all foggy now. I think it got down to about 30 degrees. Everything up here is frozen. There's little patches of snow everywhere, but I stayed fairly warm in the tent. I had my electric blanket tucked in my sleeping bag, and I slept through the night until 2 a.m. If you caught the last video, we had an encounter with wolves, like right out here, somewhere in this valley. Had to be within here, like up on the ridge, but probably within eyesight. At around 2 a.m., the wolves started howling again, and they sounded even closer than they were before. So the wolves were cool, considering we didn't die. If they would have gotten any closer, it would not have been as cool, but we made it, and now we're gonna warm up, cook some breakfast, and hit some trails. Breakfast is served, courtesy of Sam this morning. I'm gonna be taking care of dinner tonight. Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Ham.
Ham in there too?
Mm-hmm.
How is it?
Decent.
It honestly looks pretty good for where we're cooking it right now. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy Dean who?
Who's that guy? Now that the worst is over, packing up on a frigid cold morning, the tent, Starlink, fire pit, all that stuff, we are going to go on another side quest thanks to OnXoffroad. We hit a ghost town in the last video, and now there's another one that we're going to hit, which is maybe not as remote, but definitely less touristy, less people, maybe some creepy stuff there. That's kind of what I'm hoping for since we're getting close to Halloween. Now we do need to swing back through town to fuel up. I believe I might need to get some more propane as well. We already got food for the night. And then we're gonna head maybe an hour northwest over to Independence Pass. Nestled in off the side of the highway there is Independence Ghost Town, and I know a little bit about it, but I don't know everything about it, so this is gonna be a learning experience. Wow. This place is nuts. So you guys just saw us following my saved route. I used the record and track function to get up to the mountain yesterday. We followed that same track out and we made our way up over Independence Pass. I didn't film a whole lot of it because we were just like, whoa, this is so epic. But we have made it to Independence Ghost Town, and this is way more remote, more ghost town, like kind of creepier vibes than St. Elmo. But before we go and explore this place, because it is all throughout this valley here, we're gonna make some lunch at the trucks. Let's see what's on the menu. A massive can of Chef Boyardee.
Boyardee.
Can I just cook it right in this can or no?
You can try.
We could try, but I don't want to die. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go for this. Someone's gonna tell me in the comments that this is not good and you'll get cancer from doing it, but you only live once.
Beef ravioli out of the can.
Right out the can. This right here is pro level. This dirtbag living out of a truck. Cooking raviolis right in the can. It's a little cold. All right, the gourmet lunch meal is down. Now we're gonna go check out Independence Ghost Town. So on the way up here, I did a little bit of my own research on the interwebs, and this has a fairly similar story to most mining towns here in Colorado. It was booming in like the mid to late 1800s. I think one of the best years they ever had as miners here was 1881 into 1882, where they mined $190,000 worth of gold and who knows what else. At the peak, there were about 1,500 people living in this town, which is super hard to imagine because if you look at it now, there's really only just a few structures still standing around here. There were 40 different businesses. There were hotels where miners could stay for just $2 a night. And probably one of the coolest things is how all the miners actually left here, leaving this town abandoned. And I'll tell you guys all about that once we actually dive into some of these buildings over here. So according to this, there were 90 buildings. That's nuts. Where'd they all go? Actually, I know where they went. That attributes to the story of how people left here. This right here is the site of one of the 5 hotels that were located in Independence. It was owned by Theo Ackerman. Would you stay there for the night?
Oh.
For $2?
Sure, dude. $2? That's a steal.
Do you think breakfast is included?
Probably not.
The general store. So this is probably where miners would get a lot of their food and ropes and supplies and everything else when they were living here. I really want to see what's inside of that. Oh, this is what we're talking about right here. That must not have been a house up there. That must have been like a supply thing. This is a private ghost cabin. Number 1 miner's cabin. It is kind of creepy thinking about like someone lived here in the late 1800s and every day they'd have to walk out this door and go up into the mines where they could have a very high possibility of dying just to survive. This is probably the garage. So he parked his Land Cruiser. Now, just based off of our drive in here, I mean, we're way high in altitude. This town sits at 10,900 feet, and it's pocketed in between a ton of mountains. Like we passed Mount Elbert on the way in, which is a 14er, and whatever these other peaks are. St. Elmo was fairly easy to get into. It's just kind of like a flat road out from Buena Vista. This is a trek, and we're talking with modern day vehicles. Back in the day when people would come here, they were essentially stuck here because they came to work, and then from like right now, October through probably March, this place would just get absolutely blasted with snow. And that was sort of what led to the downfall of this town in its entirety. Speaking of that, there you guys can see how much snow is up here. I don't know how true this information is, but I did read it on the Independence Ghost Town website. But as they mined as much as they could around here, the profits dwindled off. After that year of them making $190,000 worth of materials out of the mine, it dropped to about $2,000, which is not enough to live in today's time and even back then. So anyone who was still in this town at the time, I believe there was about 300 people, it is said that they started dismantling a lot of these buildings. And like I said, there was a ton of buildings here. Over 1,500 people lived in this town. So the remaining people one winter started dismantling their own homes, pulling out all these logs. And it was reported that they made 75 pairs of skis. And then it was essentially a race over to Aspen. Everyone was just kind of fleeing, trying to get out of here because they would just die because they couldn't get any supplies in here because the winters were so rough. They made a bunch of skis. They headed to Aspen, which is like 16 miles west of here. And the race to Aspen, they had an entry fee to get into Aspen, which was 1 ham sandwich. Hey, we had ham sandwiches last night. We made the entry into Aspen, so that's good. As you can tell, they already had snow here in Independence. Definitely a little creepier than the ghost town from yesterday. I'm not sure I believe in ghosts, but if they are out there, I'm sure there are some here. So that was a brief history lesson. Could be accurate, might not be accurate, coming from me. But if you guys like hearing about all of the history of these places that we traveled to, let me know, because I'd love to fill you in on some more of it. Now is the point of the day where we hop on OnXoffroad again, and instead of searching around for a trail that we're not really familiar with, I mean, we had great luck with it last night. That place was super dope. There's actually a place that I've driven past. I've never camped there before, but it's very reminiscent of these old broken down structures. So we're gonna make our way probably like an hour and a half, maybe more than that, from here. And we're going to go up into another area where there was mining. There's of course mining towns all over Colorado, but we're gonna go do a little bit of wheeling and get camp set up for the night. Should be a good one. You ready?
Oh, so ready.
Aye, aye, Captain. Yeah. Whew. Oh my gosh. You got plenty of room passenger side. Yeah, keep coming. You good? How was that feeling?
Just taking a detour.
So we are on our way up to this spot that I had pinned on OnXoffroad for a while. I had come down this trail before and it was bumpy, like super bumpy, not very technical. And coming up it is way more difficult. Like where Sam just almost rolled his truck off the cliff there. Like we're talking little drops like this down to that trail, but then also massive like 100+ foot drops that just kind of send you forever. So we're on our way up. I'm not filming a whole lot right now because this is very dangerous and I'm focusing on driving. But we're almost at the campsite. All right, we have made it to our camp spot after super rocky, rough trail. I'm gonna mark that on my maps, that way I know. Gotta air down. It's actually better coming down than it is going up. I think up this way is where there's like a cool overlook, so I don't know if we have enough room to turn our trucks around up there, but I'm gonna go check. Look at all these old log ruins. That was a little more treacherous than I think we planned for.
Yeah, it was pretty tight.
It's pretty tight. So we made that journey. Feels good to be at a camp spot now, and the whole reason of coming over here was for this view, which is a pretty damn good view. Snow caps off in the distance. Got an easy shot back to the highway to get home in the morning. Feels good, man. Feels good. Now on the menu tonight, it's gonna be some jambalaya. I'm starving, I don't know about you. Even after that massive can of Chef Boyardee. So I'm gonna get cooking now because it's gonna take a while. Got some sausage to go in there. We even have ramen as dessert. We're just living our best healthy lives out here. Sausages are on, heating up. Gonna try this new piece of gear. I have a Sea to Summit tea kettle that collapses down. So I got this big, not sure how big it is. I got a pot this size and we're gonna make jambalaya in this. All right, the snoosages are pretty much done cooking. They don't need to be fully cooked because they will cook more when they're in the actual jambalaya. So I'm gonna turn that heat down. Now we'll throw this pot on with the rice and the seasoning in there. I don't know what I would do without my C4 rear swing out to carry all my gear in this, but my life would be a lot more difficult if I did not have that. That's for sure. So as that is starting to boil, we'll start dropping in the sausages. We are done.
Cheers.
Cheers. Dink. Dink. Ugh. The sun has set, almost, behind the mountains. It's gonna be a little chilly tonight. Probably not as cold as the previous night, because we are only at 10,190 feet. 2,000 feet below where we were last night. Should be hopefully a little bit warmer. We got some tree coverage. Not that it was windy last night. Shaping up to be a good end to the trip. Sam and I are both working while we're out here, so luckily we have a little bit of reception, so we can kind of send emails and stuff. I have more videos to edit because I'm filming 3 more 2 days from now. We're gonna finish up our food, do a little bit of work, and I'll check in with you guys a little bit later tonight. Howdy. It is almost 9 o'clock at night now, and we are getting ready to call it. Originally, I was going to end the video here because we've done a lot of adventure over the past 2 days, but I just charged up my drone using my new Anchor battery. So I think I'm going to at least fly the drone to hopefully maybe show you guys what we were dealing with on this trail today. No matter how I film it with this camera, with any of the 5 cameras that I have in my truck, it's not going to do it justice. Sam can attest for that.
I can.
So I'm going to head up here into bed. Good night, dude.
Good night.
We're not clamshell gang proper tonight because we don't have enough room to park at the right angle.
We're too long.
I have had my sleeping bag preheating for the last like 10 minutes. It is super warm and cozy in here. And it should run for another almost 7 hours. So that'll be plenty to get me through the night. I will check in with you guys bright and early in the morning. Yeah, buddy. We made it out unscathed.
Yeah, no one died.
So good morning again for the last time on these ghost town trips. It got pretty cold last night. Everything's kind of frozen and wet, but not quite as cold as the night before. We made it down the trail safely. It was super rocky and bumpy, and now we're going to air up and head back to town because we're going to clean the trucks, organize gear, and then we're gonna get right back into it in 2 days. We're gonna head out to the mountains again for another 2-day trip, and I'm looking forward to it. You guys will see Sam there. Go follow him on Instagram, YouTube. He actually made 2 videos just like these videos, so check him out, show him some support. And huge thank you to OnX for sending us on this journey. You guys should use my code TALONSCI at checkout when you're signing up for membership, and you get 20% off. It's just 70 bucks for an entire year of elite membership, and it is probably, no, it definitely is the best tool that I use for finding trails, camp spots, finding out about land data and all of that. So huge thank you to OnX for showing the support to the channel. If you guys enjoy these videos, downloading OnX and using my code would be a huge help, so thank you. Now, if you're new to the channel, consider clicking subscribe and make new videos every week. As always, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.